So back for part two. So we've done all of our, nice sturdy dental type things. We are moving into now the things that are disposable, edible, that kind of thing. So where do we start? Let's have a look. So there are tons of things that you can be giving your dogs. So shoes are really handy. And there are so many different types of chews that you can give your dog. Some of them are dental chews, some of them aren't. So I've got here these. Actually, I need to get some more of these. These are ostrich and spinach, apparently, and they're really, really strong dental chews. Well, they're just chews, to be fair, but they're really, really strong. So as your dog is chewing on them, again, they're scraping, so they're getting surface bacteria, tartar off, black off, etc. While they're doing that, as they bite into it, you'll get little funny ends going onto the ends as it snaps. That will also help with the chewing side of things. So chew sticks like this are really good. They're designed to obviously be eaten, so they don't last a huge amount of time, but they can be really handy to give your dog a few times a week to help with just that little bit of it's like using their own toothbrush, I guess, if you want to use that analogy. But on the same token, there are so many things that you can get your dog. If you are into raw types of treats, then you can get things like, I have no idea what this is. Probably beef tendon or something like that. My dogs are raw fed, so we use a lot of raw things. You've got fish skins, so this is a block of fish skin. So that sort of thing. Again, as your dog is chewing and crunching on that, there's all sorts of different patterns going on there. That's going to be all over your dog's teeth, gums, etc., scraping all the stuff that you don't want there off, and really, really helping them out. You've got, this is a dental chew. This is a natural chew of some sort, but it's a triangular shape. So again, low battery. Oh, I don't know what I pressed. Triangular shape. So as they're chewing, it's going to get in between any gaps that you've got in between teeth here and there, and help them out with that. So it's something that they get to enjoy. It's healthy for them. If they swallow it, it's designed to be eaten anyway, but will also be helping to keep things nice and clean. If your dog isn't a big chewer, so as I've mentioned before, Merlin and Ripley are not, then there are different types of chews that you can get. So things like this is a pork spaghetti, and this one it's a puppy chew it, and this is buffalo chew sticks. Where are we? There we go. And so these are tendons pretty much. So they're softer. They don't take as long to eat unless you're one of my dogs, like that. I'll give these to mine. You can have a little look. Some small pieces, but as they're chewing on it, they are wiping the teeth and the gums, which is obviously doing your dog's mouth lots and lots of good. So if I just unplug myself from here, and let's see who can have what. I'm going to give Merlin the thicker part, I think. So this is Merlin. All right, you got that? And then Ripley with a fringe. Got it? Take it. Good girl. And then afterwards, we've got Pepper Potts. Hey, good girl. And then they can just go off and chew that merrily. Here you go. I don't know if you can see. There you go. That way, and they can chew that quite happily. Yeah. So I like getting things like that. So some of these are puppy ones. So you can give them to a puppy. You can give them to a senior dog that's got a bit of a softer mouth, perhaps like Merlin has, or a dog that doesn't really care for chewing much, like Ripley. But they still work for dogs like Pepper who love to chew things. Yeah. So those sorts of things can be really, really good. You've got actual dental chews. So we've got things like this. These are dental sticks. So you can get ones that are dental sticks that, if you were eating that piece already, you're not meant to swallow it. That defeats the point, doesn't it? Yeah. But yeah, so dental chews and things, some of them literally are purely dental chews. Everything about them is around the teeth. So these are U-Move ones. They're natural, which is what I like about them. You haven't got any byproducts in there. So these, for example, they've got, normally dental chews would be a funny shape, so that as your dog's chewing them, it's wiping and scraping. These ones also have this little core inside it. I don't actually know what it does. I just know that the dogs really like them. Ripley loves the core part in there and eats her bit first. But they really enjoy them. I know that they're helping their teeth. Some of them, like these, have actually got ingredients in them to also help with the teeth, while others, like these ones, are hip and joint treats. So they are dental chews. They are shaped. Let me see on there. They're shaped funny to, again, scrape the teeth as your dog's eating them, but they have added ingredients to help with something else, for example, hip and joints. So you can get some that help with all sorts of things, whereas if your dog, if it's mostly the teeth that you're looking to work with, you can get dental chews like these ones that are, everything about them is to help the teeth, basically. You want one of these as well, do you? Do you think you should deserve one? You do? Right, well, there you go, you have that. Take it. Now I've got to break Ripley's one up because she's absolutely rubbish. I can't break it. It's because it's too fresh. Got it? Good girl. So, dental chews, like I say, so many types. They all have their place. It just depends on sort of what you want to give your dog. You don't want to give them maybe a dental chew several times a day. You know, they don't need one every time they've had a meal, for example. But, you know, a few times a week can be quite handy. I often use them if mine are, if I need them quiet for a bit while I'm doing a Zoom, I might give them a dental chew then. They quite enjoy that. There's one, I haven't tried it yet. They're huge, to be honest. But we've got a venison version of something. And these are, you can see how big these are. These are huge. I mean, my little dogs would struggle with these. So, you know, if you've got a big dog where these little ones wouldn't be any good, you could use the big version, for example. Where did you put it? You've not eaten that. Ripper's Chippers. Naughty Ripley. She won't have eaten that. I don't know where she's put it though. You have to wait now, aren't you? So yes, you've got the big chews. So they are kind of like the next step down from these ones. Then you've got things that you can give your dogs, like actual treats. You can actually get treats that are, well, they've got things in there to help. So these ones are fresh breath, it says. You've got peppermint oil to help fresh breath smell, blah blah blah, and all of those things. You'll have some that have got ingredients in there that will help the mouth specifically. So these little ones here are just little tiny bones. So, and they do actually break up, so you can actually use them as part of training if you want to. Those particular ones, they're by Pooch and Mutt. But you can get different types of ones. Some of them actually help in the mouth with loosening. She's found your chew. You didn't eat it, did you? Loosening the plaque, etc. Not that bone. Yeah, Rip's going to have the bone instead. So different chews can work quite nicely. Just see what's in there, because just because something said it's good for a certain thing, it doesn't mean all the ingredients are particularly good. So just do check ingredients here and there. Treat wise, like you say, there are loads of different options that you can get. But you have then also got another section of things that you can give your dogs that doesn't necessarily involve giving them loads of extra treats, and that is products. So you have things that go into your dog's water. So depending on your dog, if your dog does drink water without needing to be coerced into it, then putting something into your dog's water can be quite useful. Ripley's now having a drink. So this one is just a couple of drops every time you change the bowl. I have used an Arm & Hammer one before, which is quite a big bottle. The dogs don't seem to mind it. I do often give them a second bowl so that they have one with the stuff in and one that's an empty bowl, so they can choose. If they really don't like the stuff, then they don't obviously dehydrate. And generally speaking, I see my dogs actually go to the one that's got this in more often than not. So yeah, you can get all different types of liquids and fluids that will go in. So this says it defends against plaque and tartar. That's good. So if you've got a dog you just cannot get in the mouth at all, something like this could be a really good idea. I'm just trying to see what it actually says in there. Citric acid, glycerin water, zinc citrate, green leaf extract, and a word I can't pronounce, chloride. So there you go. Don't know what does what, but that's what that is. But say there are loads. You have a look online, you'll find there are tons and tons and tons of different ones like this. And that's to go in your dog's water. Okay. You've then got things that go on your dog's food. So one that is very well known is Plack Off, and Plack Off is literally, it's a seaweed or seaweed based, and it's just a powder, and it just goes on your dog's food. If your dog's not big on eating, if they're fussy, I wouldn't be starting to put something on the food unless they really like it, because you're going to put them off eating that little bit more. So then it might be that if you want to use a powder, you need to maybe give them something else, and the powder goes with it, like raw egg or scrambled egg or goat's milk. Goat's milk's really good for dogs. The phosphorus in there is really good, and you haven't got the dairy issue that you get with cow's milk. But something like that. And the idea behind this sort of thing is that you've got ingredients in there like the seaweed, which as your dog is taking it into the system, it's helping get into the system and going through the saliva into the mouth. And as it comes through the saliva, the ingredients, I'm sorry, this is what what are you doing, you loony? Sorry, obviously it was a bum. She'd fallen down between two things. Yeah, so it works through the active ingredients, get into the system, comes through the saliva in the mouth, which then helps loosen anything on the teeth. So any tartar that's on the teeth, etc., it actually helps to get that off. But it does need to be used kind of every day. It needs to be regular. You can't just wait for your dog to get some tartar plaque on their teeth and then start giving it a little bit and hope for the best. It does need to be used quite regularly. There are loads of different types like this. This just happens to be the one that I've got at the moment. But it's another thing that you can do. It's a good preventative, and it's also handy once your dog has actually got stuff going on with their teeth. If you need something, and if you can't actually be hands-on, it can be really quite handy for that. Just be aware that you've got lots of ingredients in a lot of these, and just to be aware of sensitivities and things, because obviously you're adding more things to your dog's diet. So just to be aware of things like that. So you've got that. You have things like this. This is homeopathy. So homeopathy is a very, very vast type of area to delve into. Some people like homeopathy. Some people laugh at it. Personally, I do actually use homeopathy for a lot of things. I use homeopathy especially for allergies and things like that for myself and for my dogs. And it's always each to their own, whatever you want to use. I use homeopathy, I do use vet treatments, etc., etc. This is Fragiaria 3C. This is from Door West Herbs, who a lot of my stuff comes from. And the idea is that you give this to your dog every day for the first week or two, and then you give it to them weekly. And the ingredient in here gets into the system and again helps with loosening up the plaque on the teeth, etc. So it helps with preventing the build-up, and it helps with cleaning the teeth as well. But the idea is that you also do something so that once this is helping to loosen what's going on the teeth, you will then actually move it out of the way. It's no good just letting it be loose and sitting there. You then need to come back with your cloth and actually wipe the teeth to get it clean, or brush the teeth. Okay, so it can work in line with other things. And that's not just that. A lot of other products will do the same sort of thing. And of course you can brush your dog's teeth, but also give them something to chew on in between as well. They all tie in really, really nicely. So yeah, I have got one last thing. I don't use this. This is just something I've got because I've got a lot of dog things. This is a scraper. If you've got nails are just as good. So for example, using things like the Plack Off, or using things like the Emipet and the toothbrushes, you could then use your nail to get under the tartar, or get something like a scraper. Just be aware to be very, very careful. What you don't want to do is start scratching into the teeth. You don't want to get right underneath the gum line, because you are likely to cause damage to your dog, and you could then lead to things like infections and actual other problems. So do be careful if you decide to use tools and things for your dog's mouths. They're available, but then so are lots of things that we shouldn't be using in the dog world. So yeah, so all of those things. So as you can see, there are lots and lots of things that you can use for your dogs. It's down to personal preference. It's down to what you can fit in daily and weekly, etc. It's down to your dog and what they are happy with and what they will accept, and what they are able to do. Because, like I say, if you've got a dog that's got, you know, bleeding gums, and your vet has said, right, we'll schedule them in for something, but you're going to have to keep on top of it afterwards. You know, they're not going to be ready as soon as they've had surgery on their mouth to have you getting in there with a toothbrush. I think the treat's gone under something. So, you know, starting off with something much more gentle, or giving your dog a way of chewing something or putting something in their water can work alongside, you know, the way that your vet can help you as well. So there are lots of things that we could be doing. The cooperative care that we looked at earlier, obviously is a big help as well. But have a little look. You know, you'll have seen when you first signed up and you got my blog. If you've had a chance to read that, I've got a lot of things listed on there already. You'll have information on different products that are available from Porworks, and they have got a discount, a 10% discount they are giving you guys. So have a look on there to see if there's anything you particularly like, and you can make use of the discount as well. And as always, if you're not sure, if you want to ask any questions, please do ask away. I will always be open and honest, and if I'm not sure, I will find someone that can tell you and help you, and get answers from there as well. Okay, so if you are using any of these bits and pieces, let us know. What have you tried and liked? What have you tried but found didn't work for your dog? You know, feedback's always great. And maybe you're finding that you've got more than one dog, so you're using one thing for one but something different for the other. Yeah, that works as well. You know, let us know. Or is there something that you'd like to try but you've got some questions, or you'd like to hear other people's experiences? Let us know, and I'll put the question out there in the group for people to answer. Okay, so have a try. Let us know what you're going to be doing, and yeah, I'm going to go and brush my dog's teeth.